So good morning. Hello. If you're on YouTube, which is where I've plonked this, there's a 20% discount if you're interested. Put in the checkout 20 off and you will get 20% off an annual membership. Huge saving, right? Let's get into today's video because we did something. We moved. Something's happened. We'll look at the technicals in a bit. The one thing I want to point out on the screen very quickly is the fact that the total is moving down more progressively, or has had a bigger dump versus the altcoins. Some of the altcoins have actually held up pretty well, considering the fact that they are at mega lows anyways. You can see a lot of the dominances are up versus BTC. Very interesting to see that. Maybe it's because a lot of altcoins are staked, they are stacked and locked and all that kind of stuff. Bitcoin may be more liquid. Let's get into why things have gone a little bit wrong. China has got a bit of a problem. Hidden financial dangers with a potential banking crisis, missed payments, all that kind of stuff. But we all know what the main news is. On the screen you can see there's been a little bit of a bankruptcy, okay? That is a huge problem and one of the biggest elements of why the market has kind of gone a little bit wrong today or last night, whatever you want to look at it. So a lot of the fundamental news is money, property, no spending, no growth, no whatever, right? Not looking good. So people have panicked. But I think the main reason for panic is coming up later on in this video, which I will explain in a second. This obviously doesn't help because the S&P was dropping yesterday. Other things were dropping, right? The UK, if you live in the UK, you've now got web feet because it's wet, very wet. It has been incredibly wet throughout the course of June and July. It was honking, bogging, basically. Not good. So that's never going to help numbers, but we'll see what the outcome of that is in the future. But another thing also in America, US housing affordability hits worst point in nearly 4 decades. Oh dear. So there's a lot of stuff happening here. There's a lot of other bits of information that we need to kind of look at in more detail to see what could happen. But in terms of crypto, it's not really that related to it, realistically, when you think about it. But we have been coupled with fear, always. Whenever there's a big drop in the other side of the market, sometimes we react to it for liquidity purposes. However, when that goes up, we don't move. We just sit in a range. When that goes down, we follow it. But the main catalyst for why we fell was probably due to this. Elon Musk announced in 2021, you heard that right, 2021, that SpaceX held Bitcoin following an SEC filing showing Tesla planned to purchase $1.5 billion worth of cryptocurrency. So this is probably why people panicked, but the drawdown of that is not because of this news, it's because of people's fear. Oh my God. And then when something is in a range for a long period of time, people get trapped in positions, people get stuck. Liquidations then happen, stop losses are triggered, and it creates a cascading effect, it creates a reaction. So yes, that's a lot of money, let's be fair. And in terms of the liquidations that have been brought on this move, I imagine quite a lot. I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, it kind of states here what's kind of happened. You can see the move. It's kind of obvious. But yeah, this is the main one as well. You know, that going is not fun. SpaceX news, not fun. So it's interesting to know how this was kind of just all came about, which is really interesting. But look at the volatility. Volatility index went bang. Which is interesting because we were actually at low, all-time low levels of genuine volatility on the Bitcoin index, which is interesting. But let's talk about Bitcoin. So what's happened? Now, the trend is broken, but you can see this little level here. This level has been on my chart for freaking ages. Absolute donkeys, right? Which is fine. Oh, what have I done here? I'm making a box. I don't want to make a box. We've literally went into that region. This probably is a level of demand. Let's be fair here. This was a big concrete level for a long time. Now, I joked on Twitter just before. Oh, we may well go into, guess what? A range. We might go into another range for another 120 odd days, which is what this kind of was. It was like for a very long time in a range. We're still in the bloody range, let's be fair. Like my analysis hasn't changed. It's like we're still in an area of genuine interest, but also a potential range, right? Is this just a range of 25k to 30k? Maybe. It might well be. So it's nothing to get worried about, in my opinion. Yes, the altcoins have dropped a bit more than what we would have liked, let's be fair here, but they've actually held up pretty well versus BTC. There's a lot of altcoins here that are green. Cardano is actually, I know it's not up on the drop, obviously, but you get the, in terms of the recovery, a lot better. So with that mindset, with that information, with that kind of interest in altcoins still, it's very, very interesting to see how that's actually happening. You can see the total too. We're still here. Like when we look at it thinking, oh, fucking hell, how we dropped loads of potential. Oh no. But nothing's really happened. If it would look like that, fair enough. But it just doesn't yet. It might go, it might completely plunge, right? Who knows? So yeah, overall, me, individually, not worried. Should you be buying? Probably. It's a good place to buy. Is there other things to be worried about? Of course there is. Jesus Christ, yes. There's all kinds of stuff. But there's so much opportunity here to buy said lows or around the lows versus when you could have been buying maybe 2 years ago because you got a bit of FOMO, because your friend Derek at the pub told you to buy Bitcoin because it's the best thing since sliced bread right at the fucking top. So yeah, all that kind of stuff's information. Total market cap, or well, the dominance around all the total market caps of the stable currencies has had a bit of a correction. Now this might be becoming invalid and we may well start going up again, potentially if the market carries on to correct. But it may well continue to slope down depending on if the recovery is strong. If the recovery is strong, there might be a lot of money going into opportunities, hands really, of altcoins and stuff like that because it's low. You got to remember, even though we're going low, even though people are like, oh my God, I'm scared, there will be people buying. There will be people looking to buy. And there's a lot of people in the community that have already said this morning in the Discord, I want to buy, I'm buying, I'm going shopping, all that kind of stuff, because it is opportunist levels. Look at Litecoin, for example. I know Litecoin's not the biggest thing in the world, and obviously I'm just using it as an example, but we're back to like nearly August 2022 levels pretty much, right? This was running up quite nicely, a little bit of halving hype, and then we hit a level $114. We went we pretty much halved it. Crazy in a matter of what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, we literally halved the price. So there's opportunities there. That is just a clear example. Don't worry. I wouldn't recommend buying just Litecoin unless you like it. Ethereum, still in the range, right? Looking okay, kind of ish. So let's see what happens. A lot of these levels have been historic levels on my chart. You will probably see my analysis from ages ago covering them. We're still holding. So these weekly time frames, these weekly charts are absolute critical in terms of technical analysis right now. Polkadot, yeah, it's still low. Dogecoin's an interesting one. Still, what the fuck? There's still like a level here of interest where it's going to go and retest right at the lows. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. But Bitcoin's the interesting one right into this region, potential range. You could probably argue that this trend line is no longer valid anymore, which is obviously interesting. However, there's still elements of a structure here. If this closes here, we are still technically okay. It depends on this next candle. It might just be a deeper correction, but there's still elements of where this can go. It could go higher. This could be a monstrous liquidity grab. Huge. Could be a little bit of manipulation. Could be to get people to shake out their hands. So yeah, movement has happened. Remember, next week, I believe we've got the Jackson Hole event, which is at the end of next week. There could be a lot of information about the economic crisis elements, certainly around the articles that I've just kind of thrown at you. So yeah, there's a lot of things happening right now. So be careful. Don't over leverage. Don't kill yourself. But yeah, things aren't too shabby, but it could get a lot worse. But remember, buy the fear. If you're interested in buying and interested in investing, you should be looking at places to buy, not looking to sell